Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
German Portasio Acosta, Harvey Charles Addison, Henry Hayden Allman, David Charles Asbury, Richard Lewis Barnes, Andrew Thaddeus, Thomas Clayton Benge, Andrew Thomas Best, Chris Blummer, Miller John Borg, Roberto Brachini Jr., Bernard George Brantmeyer, James Raymond Briggs, Terry Hudgens Brooks, Kenneth Hiram Brown, James Tharp Brown Jr., Charlie Lee Burney, Donald H. Butterworth, Alan James Cagle, Albert Parker Carden, Joseph George P. Couture Jr., Carlos Chavez Jr., Ivy Gale Childress, Alfred Henry Combs Jr., David James Corcoran, Luis Felipe Correa, Edward Gaffney Creed, Dennis John Cullen, Douglas Harold d'Orsay, James Hilary Denkowski, Robert Harold Daniels, Thomas Joseph Davis, Cecil Ernest Daw, Mark John DeFrank, George Douglas Dell, Thomas Clifford Edwards, Charles M. Edwards, Robert Richard Eggleston, Robert Allen Iber, William Michael Elbracht, Jesus Gutierrez Escobar, Thomas Walter Faber, Gary Lynn Franklin, Jerome Garcia, William Kirby Gardella, Otha Douglas Gibson, John Michael Golden, Hubert Elton Gordon, Wayne Victor Gordon, Ronald K. Gray, Ronald Howard Groff, Thomas Charles Gudden, Jimmy Reed Harries, Darnell Harvey, Ralph Milton Havner, Robert Gregory Henry, Ronald Lee Herbstreit, William Earl Hibschman, Franklin Joe Heiner, David R. Hoffman, Carl Eugene Holbrook, Charles James Hodzico, Michael John Inat, Carl Emil Janowski Jr.,
Charles Arthur Jenkins, Andrew Johnson, Isaac Jones, Charles Thomas Jones, Thomas Joseph Jazfowski, William Anger Jurich, Lawrence David Kessler, Robert Lee King, Robert Warner Kurtz, Richard Norman Lee, Terry Allen Lawfer, Anthony John Mancuso, Charles Weldon Merrick, Bruno Leo Martin, John Anthony Martinez, Edward Marzanel Jr., Reuben Mathis II, Osborne Mattingly Jr., Stephen Gregory Mawson, James Stephen MacArthur, Ronald Jean Macbeth, Dale Patrick Meehan, Herbert Leonard Meeker Jr., Anthony Joseph Mello, Orrin Kenneth Miller, Peter Mongliardi Jr., William Morris, Thomas Richard Morris, Wayne Stephen Murphy, Alfred Walker Murphy, Clarence Matthews Newcomb, Mitchell Earl Norton, Clarence M. Overbay Jr., Henry Lindsay Page III, Oscar Bernard Patterson, Joe Francisco Perez Jr., Robert Powell, Johnny Cruz Kinga, Otis Reed, William Richard Reese Jr., David Elliott Rayner, Gary Lee Reynolds, Raymond Dale Ramey, Calvin Charles Rice Jr., Dennis Lee Ritter, Marvin Kent Robertson, Patrick Dale Roberts, Philip Rogers, R.V. Rathavali, Howard Rosdicher, Charles Carroll Sales, Santos Sanchez, Alberto Vasquez Sanchez, Robert Miller Scott, Timothy John Shelton, Jeffrey Raymond Shumway, Richard Simmons, Wayne Michael Smith, Thomas Joel Smith, Robert John Smith, Robert Carl Snethen, Marvin Dale Snyder, Jerry Lee Southard, Louis John Spadell,
Leroy David Sprouse, Kieran John Starr, Richard Lee Strange, Ernest William Straley, William Franklin Stringer, James Bruce Tasker, Melvin Ernest Taylor, Jerry T. Thomas, Dennis Eugene Thompson, Barry Neal Thompson, Dominic Ungaro Jr., Larkin Oscar Valorand, David Morgan Walters, Philip Murray Weddington, Michael Joseph Whitaker, Michael Edward Widener, David Joseph Wickander, Mac Wilbert Williams, Rufus Timothy Williams, Roy Kenneth Williams Jr., Charles Alton Williamson, Michael Roy Wilson, Robert Damian Wirtz, David Lewis Yoakum, Edward C. Zimmerman Jr.,